Destination Medicine is a collaborative initiative of regional training hubs. With first-hand lessons learned from those who have gone before, this podcast is designed to assist and inspire anyone interested in pursuing a medical career in rural and regional Australia. Welcome to Destination Medicine. I'm Peter Lance. At 13, Matthew Collocott and his family swapped farm life in South Africa for farms of the Northern Rivers of New South Wales. Matt didn't picture himself going into medicine, but his parents understood firsthand the value of hard work and a great education and encouraged him on to tertiary studies. So, Matt studied biomedical science at Griffith University and fell in love with the anatomy, physiology and the extraordinary complexity of the human body. His path into medicine, though, wasn't smooth. Matt sat the GAMSAT 4 times and weathered multiple setbacks. But his good nature and determination paid off when he earned a place at the University of Wollongong. Today, Matt's a junior doctor at Lismore Base Hospital, which he absolutely loves. And the sense of community, hands-on learning and supportive culture have cemented his decision to move into rural generalist training. And being part of such a close-knit family, Matt values the balance that regional medicine offers, from the lifestyle to relationships, continued learning and patient care. To start, Nicole Goodman gets the details around why Matt didn't always want to be a doctor.
No, I had no thought whatsoever of becoming a doctor in my early life, but throughout my time growing up and having my parents by my side, they had always encouraged me to go get an education and pursue a university degree. I really liked the sciences, so I went into biomedical science at Griffith University. I did an extra year at uni doing an honours year to get the marks up a bit. I moved to the Gold Coast from a small regional town called Rouse Mill here in New South Wales, and it was a really good time. Made a lot of friends. I enjoyed the uni village campus life and partying with a lot of people. And yeah, I think with all of that experience, I didn't do as well as I would want to, but I recognized that medicine was something that I really wanted to start pursuing because it was just such a fascinating area. And my anatomy and physiology classes, I'll never forget, were eye-openers, and they really got me to pursue my medical course. So yeah, I started really working hard towards that. I studied hard and got the marks that I needed to get, and eventually did that honours year as well so that I could further my research and boost my marks a bit more just to get into medicine.
What was it about anatomy and physiology that you were really intrigued by?
I think I grew a really deep appreciation for what the human body is capable of, and just the fact that so many parts of the cog in the motor have to start spinning together to make the beautiful life that we get to experience. And by doing those anatomy and physiology courses, it just made me recognize the depth and breadth of knowledge there is, and that there's a forever ending pit of knowledge that we'll never understand in medicine, I suppose. And I think that's something that excites me, that you've always got something to learn, and it's never going to be a stagnant process working in this career of medicine.
Tell me about the application process to get into medicine. How did you find that?
I think it's probably almost the hardest hurdle it was for me. I, did a lot of hard work at university to get the marks required to apply. You also have to do the GAMSAT examination, which is a 6-hour-long torturous process. And I did that exam 4 times. And
Whoa.
Which was classic. And I kept failing the humanities section. You got to get 50 minimum, or every section. I got in the first 3 times 49, 49, 49, which was hilarious. I think I had an end goal in sight, and I wasn't going to give that up. And I just worked hard towards it. And I think with anything, if you just keep bringing your head down, you will get it done eventually. Finally got through. I remember the last time that I wrote the exam was on my brother's birthday. I can't remember. He must have been turning 20 or so. But I drove from Rouse to Brisbane, which was about a 3-hour drive, did the 6-hour exam, drove 3 hours back, and then had a good few beer birthday boo-haas with my brother.
I'm sure.
And then with those, I finally did well enough in that to get the marks that were high enough to be able to get an interview at medicine. I interviewed initially at Griffith Uni on the Gold Coast, and I remember playing tennis on the day that they let out the emails to say, have you got it or not? And I got a big rejection letter. That was pretty average, but it's just how it goes. And I remember, spending my summer a little bit dismal and down in the dumps. But the day that I decided I had to start studying for the GAMSAT again was the day I got an email with an acceptance letter to the University of Wollongong.
Wow.
Yeah. And I still thought it was a fake email, which was pretty funny. I do remember calling the uni and asking them, hey, this doesn't seem like a real email, but got the spot and I had 2 weeks to move down there and get my life sorted to Wollongong. So never looked back since.
What a great story, and just a profile in determination. That's what you need. Good on you. Good on you for sticking with it and not giving up, because look at the results. Fantastic. Well done. And tell me about UOW and your placements. Did you enjoy your time there?
Wollongong was amazing. It's a place I'd never thought I'd live in my life, and I'm so lucky to have been down there. I've met a lot of lifelong friends and made some really great friendship groups through that time. It's a beautiful coastal town. It's an hour south of Cronulla in Sydney. It's got elite surfing spots. It's got some really good places for spearfishing. I did a lot of kayaking. There's beautiful beaches, and it's also, given it's got the uni, it's got a good young social group of people that are out and about, and it's not a really huge city, so you can get to and from different parts of the Gong quite simply without much traffic, which is an absolute highlight in my eyes. And my placements there were awesome. We got exposed to Wollongong Hospital as well as the small surrounding places like Shell Harbour and Shoalhaven. In those areas, there were amazing people that we met along the way. And it was also really great that Wollongong had a posting up in Lismore. So I got a year-long placement up here. And I grew up in the Northern Rivers after immigrating from South Africa. So I knew the place really well. And it was so nice to be able to move back to the comforts of being around home and family, friends, and friends who I knew from growing up at school together, and being able to go to Lismore Hospital and the surrounds of Byron and Ballina, Casino, Kyogle, Maclean, Grafton, so all these beautiful towns. And I think it's really good that you get such a broad experience in these really rural and, metropolitan areas. And all the placements were amazing. We got time and GP practices for a year. I was at Ultimate Clinic, which is where I went as a kid for my GP checkups, which was really awesome. And also did a lot of emergency department time and obstetrics, gynecology, pediatrics, you name it. It was just a good experience. And then towards the end of my time as a student, I did some placement up in Darwin as well for an elective term, which was an amazing eye-opening experience too. And Australia's just got so many opportunities for you as a student to go and do such amazing placement and get such a big learning experience on all those adventures.
Yeah, you're so right. Tell us a little bit more now about your time at Lismore Base Hospital.
Lismore has been the most amazing experience. I had a year there as a medical student, and then I've now done also my intern year, residency year, and now my current year as a SRMO doing critical care. And I just loved it. It's the perfect balance of enough size and a broad range of different medical specialties that you get a good experience as an intern resident to all these broad areas of learning. But it's also small enough that you get to know every single team, all the bosses, all the wardsmen, the radiographers, the nursing staff, and it's a bit of a community in its own. So you go down the coffee shop and just able to drink people down the hallway. And I think that's a really special aspect of Lismore. I couldn't speak more highly of it. And it's a really supportive culture of teaching and exposing people to opportunities that they might not get in other places and really get a lot of hands-on experience in a safe environment.
Tell us a little bit more about what it's like living on the Northern Rivers. It is a beautiful area. Tell us about it.
The Northern Rivers is the dream. It's God's country to me. I think it's got rolling farmlands. It's got the best surf breaks. It's got diving opportunities, good fishing. It's got constant swell. Don't tell anyone about that though. I think, everything is easy to get to. It's an hour strike distance to the Goldie if you need to go there for shopping or whatever. And you've got an airport here, and having a lot of club sports in the areas. I grew up playing rugby for the local Wollongong Oxford Rugby Club, and I've got world-class friends that I've made through that I still see almost every week, which is amazing. It's just the best place to live. It's very similar, I think, to what it was like where we grew up in South Africa, in the sense of climate and farmland around us. And we've always grown up on farms. So living on the property that we do gives us a little feeling of being at home, I suppose, away from home.
Because you live together with your family on the property, on the farming property.
Yeah, well, we live in Rouse Mill, which is this beautiful small town population of probably 50. And I think the majority of that is my family on this 16-acre block. We've got 3 houses on the block, which is really cool. And I'm in one with my fiance actually now, and my brother and his partner in the other house, and my mom and dad in their house. And it's kind of like this cool communal setup where we can have a dinner over at someone's house once a week and share a little community garden amongst each other. I've got my chooks and we've got some cows. It's a really nice place to live, I think.
So what's the thinking within the family about you becoming a doctor and not following the farmer's path?
In my mind, when I was young, I thought I was always going to farm. And I think I still always will want to farm whilst, having the medical background. It's so cool that you can do both, I think my dad is an amazing man. He's gone from hardship to hardship of working from the ground up many a time, especially with the immigration process. And he knew what the struggle was like to build himself up from the ground up. And he always knew that his farming diploma and education was what enabled him to do that. And I think that really promoted him to put onto us to go and get our studies done and have an education under the belts to become more employable. And my mom was a radiographer and still is. Having that education under her belt enabled us to be able to immigrate overseas from South Africa to Australia. And without that, we probably wouldn't have been able to get to a country as good as this. And that just, I think, speaks volumes for what an education can do for you.
100%. Absolutely. Tell me, did you have any mentors who helped you along this particular path?
There's so many and along the way, but I think some big stand-up ones were going through my time up here in Lismore in the clinical year. We had an amazing mentor, Anne Tosmin. She was just like the medical bomb, we called her, just absolute guru. She was so helpful. She really pushed us to do better every day and was very approachable and so insightful in so many ways, which I think was awesome. And she just kept us all on the straight and narrow.
What advice do you have then, Matt, for someone thinking about studying medicine or maybe undertaking a rural internship?
Do it. It's just, I've met family friends and friends along the way who have told me about their interests in potentially doing medicine. I always just completely encourage it. I think, it's just such a great career, though long-winded to get there. It's worth it. It's got so much potential. You have no limit to what you can do and practice, and you can be a GP and live an awesome life. And then you might decide one day, I want to be a surgeon, and nothing can stop you from doing that, And I can't speak for huge cities and what it's like to work in a massive tertiary center, but I can speak from my perspective of a pretty regional place. And I just know that everyone who comes to Lismore, even if it's a rotation that's compulsory for them from their big Sydney hospitals, they come back for more. And I think that speaks a lot about what it has to offer, because people really establish such good relationships in the workplace, and everyone's striving to the same goal together. And getting into medicine, it's hard, but you just should never give up, you know. It's in wise words from Dave Billington when I was a student, was the 3 L's. Don't lie, don't be lazy, and don't be late. And I think if you represent anything in this world with that, and growing up in a place like South Africa, you know, we have this saying of like, there will be cuck along the way, and cuck is like poo. So it's like, there's going to be cuck along the way, and you're going to get these curveballs, and life is tough, and that's just what it is. But if you just focus on the small things and the important things and keep working hard and make sure you get outside, make sure you keep up your exercise, things will be good, and sleep well.
And sleep well, exactly. And you're right, bad things are going to happen. It's how you deal with it that makes the difference. All right, Matt, finally, where to from here for you? What's next in the next 5 or 10 years?
Well, I am going into my GP land next year, which is going to be a really exciting new change of pace. I want to start a family. You know, my partner and I are engaged, and I look so forward to getting married. And we also—
Congratulations, that's exciting.
Thank you. It is awesome. And we're so keen to be, you know, parents as well. So hopefully we'll have some little munchkins running along the way. And on completion of my rural generalist training, I'd like to be able to start working in the area here, as well as some smaller peripheral sites as well. I think in small emergency departments and stuff will also keep the work interesting. But most importantly, I think, is just upholding and maintaining a good, healthy and balanced lifestyle. You know, work is amazing, but everything outside of it is more important to me. And having to make sure that, you know, my family's healthy and that exercise, I see my friends, and, you know, get to have some time off to enjoy that experience with mates and stuff is really important to focus on. And I think my little generalist training is going to really allow you to do that. And I think also just being able to get to know people for the long ride in the GP realm is awesome. Like, you know, to see them go through the stages of life and being within each step of the way. Also, continually upskilling is an exciting part of what I can do. And I really want to upskill with not only my GP practice, but also getting emergency skills and potentially anesthetic skills as well, and giving back in those different areas of expertise. And I think just being able to go work in a nice GP practice like Holsonville, and then being able to work in a small emergency department in, say, Coyote, or fly into a small town even, go work there for a week or two, and then people schwacking out there and come home and be with the family and the kids. I think it's an exciting list of opportunities that await me.
Dr. Matthew Collocott, Junior Doctor at Lismore Base Hospital in New South Wales. This is Destination Medicine. Thanks for listening. Regional training hubs are supported by funding from the Australian Government under the Rural Health Multidisciplinary Training Program.